Okay, so the website that we're going to be working on today is here in Cleveland, Tennessee, and it's a cleaning company's website. And when we got it, here's how their website began. They put social media on the top, and it looks like Facebook. There's an email, Instagram, LinkedIn, and Google. When we got it, it came this way. So obviously what you want to do is you want to test the links and just make sure that they're actually connected and that they're working. And so you can see here that they've got some followers. And if we look, they've got some reviews in here. And then what we're looking at is this link that they have, the contact phone number, the same WhatsApp phone number, and an email on here, a Gmail account on here. So they've got some features and making some posts. And you can see that this company has just been selected for Local News 3 because they're like a really, really up and coming company. So that's the starting point on Facebook. If I click on their email, then it goes straight to an email page, which is fine. If I click on their Instagram, it's going to connect to their Instagram page, which is also great. And then what we would want to do from here is look at the page itself and see how we can make some posts that would make them get more viral, right? So we've got some AI automated posts that we can do and plug those in to make it go viral. And then we're going to look at their LinkedIn account, and you can see that we've got to fix this one. It looks like what they did wrong was they might have actually not put her name in there correctly because I happen to know her name. And that didn't fix the problem. Okay, so what we'd have to do is figure out the LinkedIn part, and then their Google My Business is also connected. And you can see that they've got some great reviews, really, really good, 5 star, 169 views. And then what we're going to be looking at is what Google My Business categories are they putting on their Google My Business account, right? And so the more categories that you have right here, and the more services that you put in the categories, that's giving you an additional way to be found. I just realized I wasn't sharing my screen. My apologies for anybody that's stuck with me just this long and didn't see the screen share. Oh my God. Okay, so quick overview. This is the section here, and then their home and everything. And then what we did was go to their Google account. I do apologize for that. So what we would want to look for is their edits and possibly get into the different services that they've got available in here and increase the number of services that they provide because I know that they do more than house cleaning because of their website. I know that they do move in and move out cleaning. I know they do construction. I know they do deep cleaning. I know they do commercial cleaning. So there's plenty of opportunity to clean up this and move forward. Okay, so going back to the website, what we're looking at is they've got a home page, a services page. They put a logo in the center instead of over here. and they've got an about page and a contact page. So this phone here is looks like this is going to be a button. And what it did was expose the phone number if they clicked on it. That's all it's going to do is transition back and forth to the number. So we've got a little bit of work to do on this. Let's finish looking at the home. So then they go over what the services are. Then they have the About Us section, and they pulled in what looks like their Facebook page. So they did a page within a page right here. And then you can see they've got three of the 169 reviews, right? They've only got three of them right here. Then, so they've got call now, they've got book now. And if I hit book now, the only thing it does is take me to a contact page, which gives me the option to do an email or to leave a message. Okay, so book now doesn't scroll down to the book now section that they've got right below it, or how to send a message. Okay, so there's a lot of confusion in this page, a lot of areas that we can correct and clean up. And then once again, you can see they've got the social media, they've got the phone number and everything, and then they've got just the catalog down in here. So the services page is they numbered each service, and they put just a generic phrase called a standard clean. We clean your house, you don't have to. And then if you hit book now, you'll see that it goes to a contact page. Again, everything that there, it looks like every book now is going over to a contact page. So on step two, deep clean is also going to go to a contact page. New construction is going to go to a contact page. Move in and out, contact page. And you can see here that they did throw a few images in. Looks like moving boxes, looks like a commercial cleaner, looks like construction, vacuum cleaner, deep clean, looks like maybe some pressurized hot water. And then again, the same book now. So when we go to the About section, it looks exactly like the About section on the first page. A bunch of cleaning supplies. It says about us, our love for cleaning comes shining through. So it's poetic. I mean, we love to clean. Okay. So what I noticed immediately is it's focused on the company, our love, we love, we, right? And in general, every website that you build should really be about your audience who needs something from you and they want it to be about them. So what they're going to want to know is how can you better serve them even on an About Us page. The About Us page should focus on overcoming objections that the people have about us, right? So they're always going to complain. There's never enough money, never enough time. It's always too hard. It's always too complicated. It's always, you don't know if you can trust people. You don't know what would happen if you let people in your house. Do you have to monitor them? Can you leave them alone and trust them not to, take something or break something? Like, so About Us should really be shining about how many people you've helped, how good of a job you've done, how many times you've repeated it over and over. and then how they can trust you like all the other people and they can get the benefits that all the other people got. Okay. So I would clean this up quite a bit. Now they are licensed and insured. That's important. You really want that. Friendly and professional might matter. Premium materials might matter. On time it would matter. And then you can see here, all they did was slide in some bullet points. Um, and then they go straight to book now again, which is the same section on all the other pages. And then last, they've got a contact page that has exactly the same book now. And what they did was throw in an address here for SEO purposes. Okay, so they've done a lot of things right. I mean, I'm not complaining terribly bad about the website because some of the major points that you want in there are in here. However, there is room for improvement. So what we're going to do is show a little bit of the upgrades that we personally made in the last few days since we got this account. So one of the first things that we've done is take it from this type of homepage. Let us do the cleaning. You deserve a clean house with an image right here of some cleaning supplies with the social media and then a call button that goes back and forth. So what we've actually done for them is we've included that this is in Cleveland, Tennessee. We've kept their logo over here. It matters, but it's not the number one piece of the puzzle. Okay. And then what we've done here is if they click on this phone number, what it'll do is actually pull the phone number into the person's phone and they can hit dial and it'll immediately call the business owner or the admin who's answering the phones for them. Okay. So this is a huge upgrade already because it saves them one additional step. Because if they've taken the time to hit call, then we want to make it as easy as possible that they can call. Then book today is a little bit mischievous because all it's going to do is go straight to call the same number. And we're giving them two choices that will always put the phone number into their phone. Then the next thing that we're going to do is instead of, you can see here how they've kept the header scroll sticky to the top. We're going to do exactly the same thing. There's no problem there. But what we've done differently is we focused on the outcome hero section that we want people to think about. Okay. We want people to think that we're in here wearing beautiful gloves, cleaning, that people are happy and hugging each other, people are smiling. We want them to understand right away that they've got, um, technically, they actually have a perfect 5-star review with 169 reviews and counting. So we're going to put a little bit of a social media trust right away. Your home, your business, always clean, always ready. Okay, so this is the outcome that the person wants if they were to hire this company to come work for them, right? And the difference is let us do the cleaning. Okay, so the focus here is on us. And the focus here is on your home, your business is always clean. Now, we might be able to throw construction site on there, but it might be redundant. Then the next thing that we're going to do for SEO is Cleveland, Tennessee's reliable cleaning team. Standard, deep, move in, move out, commercial cleaning. Okay. And then we'll give them a book now option, which really is exactly calling this phone number right here. So only thing they're going to do is click that button. It's going to go to the call section. And from the call section, it's going to call this local phone number right away. What we're going to do for the company is we're going to take this phone number and we're going to upgrade it to a business phone number that's going to be tracked inside of the CRM. And then we're going to turn on a voice AI bot that handles 100% of these phone calls. 100%. And what the AI bot is going to do is pre-screen the calls and start recording contact information and the job site information that's needed. And if they need to go straight to the business owner or the admin, it'll forward them over. If it needs to just go ahead and book the appointment, it'll move over to booking the appointment. So what we're going to do is make it where the business owner doesn't have to be monitoring her phone all day long or her admin, that this website is going to take care of that on their end. And then right here above the fold, what we wanted to do is really highlight that they've got a lot of experience, they've performed a lot of jobs, and they have a 100% satisfaction guarantee. We know that because they have 5-star rating over and over. Okay, so all of this is going to be above the fold, which is a clear hero outcome that they want, how it's going to happen, what they need to do, and then we've made it super easy for them to book the appointment or to get in touch with the team, and then why they should do it with a little bit of social proof. Then the next section that we've focused on is we're going to identify the most likely pain and problems that the company customers are always talking about. So instead of going straight into the services that they're providing, what we're going to focus on is the pain that we're solving, right? And we're going to make it super clear whether you're a business owner, property manager, a busy homeowner, property manager, business owner, a realtor, or finishing a construction project. You deserve cleaning done right the first time. Okay. So this is calling out what we're going to say is the target audience that we're looking to solve a problem for. Then we're going to put a clear headline that you're tired of cleaning problems that never go away. Okay. So this is the overall biggest pain that we're trying to get generically everybody to realize. You want it clean. You're worried about prices. You're worried about unreliable cleaners or results that don't match what you're promised. Call me today. Let's make this easy. Okay. So we really want to focus on that. And once again, every one of our call to action buttons are always doing the same thing. They're all going to this phone number that is a straight ability to book an appointment. So the next thing that we did that was really, really different is we continued from the pain overview. Now we're going to agitate this pain and really, really focus on how many problems or how many variety of problems that they're going to have. So even if their services offer 5 major services, what we're going to do is agitate the pain of why they need this fixed. Okay. Your home never feels fully clean, no matter how hard you try. Stop cleaning, hire us. Your business looks messy and the customers notice. Make a better impression, right? So, what we're doing is we're creating these call to actions to relate to the emotion or the pain that we're anticipating that they have. Now, you'll notice the next thing that we did here is we created a section that really, really like frames it all in, kind of like Apple does on Apple's websites, where it frames it in correctly, it makes it look good, and then we've put eyes and face expressions that people can relate to next to the picture of the problem, and then the headline is going to match that emotion and that face expression. And then this call to action is going to help relieve this emotional pain problem that each person has. And we did this in a really cool way. So we took the column section and we created a very unique background for each one. Now, we didn't want the whole thing to be a background. We just wanted part of the emotion here and part of the paragraph over here. So we had to work really hard to find the spacing where it pulls a little bit of the image, but it doesn't take up the whole screen. And then you'll notice that we move to the second pain that they're going to experience, which is a commercial cleaning problem. And we wanted to focus on a commercial business owner that has a commercial building that is messy or dirty. And it's never going to make a good impression on people that come in. So you need this cleaned up. And then we transitioned again to deep cleaning, where like you can see that she's going to get in there and do a deep scrub of the oven and other places. And we're focusing on a deep clean. Okay. And we want her happy doing the clean because we want to think that the people who are cleaning are in a good mood while they're cleaning up your home or while they're cleaning up at your job site. And then we focus on moving, right? So we still have boxes and everything, but you can see the stress of having to move and clean at the same time. And then we transition again to construction. And what we've done differently, if you can really, really capture this, is this guy is just simply happy spraying a bottle. And here are some basic logos, icons. And even if we go to a service page, this is just a picture of a glove wiping down a thing. This is a picture of a spray nozzle. This is a picture of a vacuum. Their faces are covered up moving boxes. And the contrast that is this guy is experiencing, like he's really experiencing something at a construction site. She's really experiencing something on moving day. And then we've now went through all five different types that they have. And the next thing that we did different was contrasting this is instead of going to book now, what we did differently is create more social proof. Okay. An easy to understand headline, a call out on who you are talking to and what action you want them to take. And then what we've done is create a really clean testimonial section, but we're solving problems that we just talked about up here. So we're talking about residential, we're talking about commercial, we're talking about deep cleaning, we're talking about moving, we're talking about contractors on construction sites. So what we've done is reinforce it with residential cleaning, deep cleaning, commercial cleaning, moving, and construction sites. And then what they're talking about is relevant to the pain that they just experienced. Okay. So we really just reinforced over and over the same exact section. And then they should be ready to schedule, right? And at this point, you just give them a clear option that they're ready to schedule. And once again, that schedule is going to go to a call link and call that phone number, which eventually is going to be a voice AI secretary who's going to handle the scheduling for this company. Okay, so now we've really went through some pain and we've agitated the pain and we've called out who we're talking about. We've gave some testimonials of how we fix it, but now we need to go from pain to pleasure, from problems to solutions, from explaining these benefits. Okay. So you'll notice one thing that we did right away was we updated images from not smiling, unhappy, stressed, worried, anxious to now everybody has the emotion that you want them to have if they were to call you and hire you today. Okay. So now we're focused on solutions of happiness as well. And we followed the same formatting up above down here in this section. Okay, so the next feature that we did, if you're wondering how we created all these scrolling looks, is we had to full center and parallax our entire website. Okay, so that allows it to have this beautiful scrolling feature. And then these buttons have now changed colors. And then what we're going to do is update these borders to be the three main colors of the website repeated over and over. So now that we've got like the primary and the secondary and the tertiary colors of the website, then all we're doing is kind of repeating these colors over and over. And we're finding out when it needs to be lighter, when it needs to be darker, when it needs to be contrasting. Okay, so you'll notice that this is a happy business. This is a happy residential cleaning. And then you'll notice here how we use the background colors to go through this. And this is on an image, so we're not going to do transparent. I'll show you why we did it this way. So if I move over to general and I swap out the background color for transparent, it looks like beautiful glass. And then we would change the text to this. And what it does is it looks like a beautiful glass feature as they're scrolling through. And the opposite of that is to make the button look like it's a dark button that pulls their attention to it. So that it's a very strong looking button. So sometimes you want the button to be very, very vague and neutral, clean, and sometimes you want it to have a high contrast that they can resonate to. And so these are high contrast for that reason. And you can see here, you can play around with things like this because this is on a dark primary background. What we could do is invert it so that it is a bright call to action button with a clear contrast in there. And then the next thing that we would do is change the border to either a darker border or a high contrast border of some degree. Okay. And that way, when people move it, it looks like it's got a really clear border to draw your attention with a high contrast. And so you can play around with these and get them to look either way that you want to. In general, if you're going to do high contrast, if you're on a darker background, you can go lighter. If you're on a lighter background, you can go darker. And again, you can always make it look like super, super elegant and clean. And you can do a transparent background. And then the color of the text can match the color of your primary colors. Okay. And what that does is it kind of looks like a really clear glass feature in there. But it blends in so strongly that you may not know that that button is really there. So for us, we wanted to make sure that they can see the button very, very clear. And we still wanted to stick to the three primary colors like that. And that way it's there. And you'll notice that all we did was take a primary color and then we took a border and wrapped it in the secondary color and we threw the text in as a secondary color. Okay, so once again, we're following the same script. This is a moving thing. They're super happy, smiling with keys. They're happy finishing up this project. And then the next thing that we did differently, so now that we've answered all the solutions to all their problems, the next thing that we're going to focus on is more social proof. Okay. So there's a really cool feature here. Instead of just, and again, all this is on the homepage. So let us do the cleaning. Then they go through services. Then they have an about us. Then this is like their three social proofs. Book now is repeated here, and then book now is repeated here again. And it looks like they're gonna take a message through a form. And so now they've got to take the form and review the message. I talked to the business owner, and they said that this message goes to their personal account, and they're actually responsible for replying because it's not an AI workflow, it's not automated. So this is actually costing the business owner a lot of time to deal with this. The book now doesn't actually book anything. It just moves over to a contact page. So there's no real booking. Now you got to go here and do the same message that you did right here. So it just creates an extra step that didn't do anything. Like there's no advantage to that. And then you can see even where it says learn more. The only thing it did was move to about us, but it didn't move to the services that it's focused on, right? So the about us section goes, we love everything, we smile when we do it, and then it's literally verbatim the exact same thing. So there's no advantage for the customer to go from this about us section, which is dark to white contrast, click on it, and then go to a white dark contrast, right? So it's verbatim, exactly the same information. If I'm a customer and I'm a user and I wanted to know more about you, and I just read the same thing that you told me here, I didn't really get, I didn't get anything, I didn't learn anything more by doing that. So this is the problem that we're solving. And then the next thing that we're focused on is she has 169 reviews. And what we needed to do was pull those reviews into the website so that the website can really like spotlight and show people how great these reviews are. Okay. So if you've never used this feature, then there's an element in here, and you go to the add an element, you scroll down to the element, and you come down here to reviews. And if you drag this over, then it'll build out a review section from scratch, right? It's one drag and the whole thing is built for you. The only thing that you got to do is like worry about spacing. And I'll give you guys a little secret. I always come in here and I give myself a lot of spacing because I want every section to feel like it matters to the reader, to the user, and I want them to only know what they're supposed to know about one section at a time. I don't want them to blur section A and section B and put those two sections together. I want them to get everything they know about section A, and then I want section A to be finished, and then I want them thinking about section B and section B to be finished, and then continue through the website. So right now, the generic widget pulls this in here, and then what would happen is she has to go and connect her Google My Business page to the review section. And then as soon as she connects it, it's going to pull 169 reviews into this section. Okay, so I'm gonna save the work and just make sure that it's saved. And then as we scroll down, you can see how every one of these sections are really focused on their own thing. Now everybody's happy, everybody's smiling, and then we move here to the review section. So as soon as she connects her Google account in here, then this will fill up with 169 different reviews. And then every time somebody writes a new review, it'll go ahead and pull that new review into here. So this is a super cool feature. And if you've never used it, I've got another training video on how to connect your Google account and pull the reviews in. But I'll show that in a different video. Okay. So now that we've done social media, we've did pain, we've did solution, we've now had three different types of social media, right? So if you think about it, I'm kind of giving testimonials right here. I'm also pulling in a little social proof up here. I'm also pulling in a little bit of social proof up here. And we're going to do a hard contrast because now we're through with the problems and the solutions. The next thing that people need to know if they're still on the website is, well, what do I do next? How do I get started? If they haven't used these buttons to to get started, then they're still looking for a way to get started. So I did a hard contrast right here to break up what they've been looking at, right? To reset their eyes and reset their expectations. And then the next thing that we're focused on is how easy, how efficient, how quick it is to get started today. You can make this phone call. She's going to do a site survey. And while she's at the house, you're going to sign the contract and begin cleaning. Okay. Call me today to get started, right? Take the first phone call today. And that's how easy it is to work with them. Then we're going to focus on, and I haven't built this section out. This is something we have to build, but I want to show you like how easy it is to build out this section. Okay. So you'll notice right here that the pre-built template has a team, and the team either has a white background and it pulls in different social media icons. You can update your images. You can put a headline and a subheadline here. There's a slightly different color with a call to action here. Here's a very drastic color here, and then there's a muted color here. So all we did was drag this one and pull it in over here. That's all we did. We went to pre-built, we found a team section, and we pulled it in here. Okay. So the only thing that we really have to do is update each picture, change the name. Like I know that one of the names is going to be Luda. I know one of the names is going to be Tasha, and then whatever her position and title is. Um, we know a few of the different people that work for them already, and you can take the first five, and she's got a total of 10 employees. So in order to do 10 employees really, really quick, the only thing we have to do is come right here and hit clone this entire section, and it pulls down row number two. And this is going to be employees 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Now we got two choices. We can put each person's individual links here if we want them to get their own thing, or we can take the same Facebook page up above, same Instagram, same LinkedIn page up above, and drive everybody to the business's profiles. Okay. It, there's no right or wrong way to do that, but you've got two choices here, and everybody gets their own social media. Okay. And then now we're focused on work with my team. Now, if she's got team specialists, this is where I would talk to her and say, if you have, let's say you have a deep clean specialist, right? Let's say that you have a commercial specialist. Let's say that you have a moving in, out specialist, right? Then what you can do is you can actually showcase certain team members that are your primary go-to team members for each of those different jobs, each of those different job sites. If you've got a manager and she's the highest of all managers, right? So then you can just put she's the team manager, right? Team leader. Okay. And so we're kind of making it look like it's number two overall. And then you can, really focus on that, getting with that number two. And what we're attempting to do is every one of these business pages that is a Facebook business page, we can clone a Facebook cloned business page and make the same exact business page, but focusing on the person's title and role. Um, and now you've got two Facebook pages that are all pointing to the same company page. Okay. And the way that we do that is when they look at the email, when they look at the phone number, when they look at the website link, the website link is actually going to go directly to that person, right? And then the next thing that we're going to do for the team section is Luda's made it very clear that she wants to transition to $3 million in business this year, and she wants to empower her team to start picking up responsibilities and move forward. So now her team is actually going to be able to do site surveys, site quotes, and then also fulfillment on the cleaning itself, right? So we're going to get team leaders that can actually do those things. And these team leaders can have their own team page, right? So Emma, in this case, let's just say it's Emma, right? Emma is actually going to have her own team page in the overall website SEO structure, right? So that when somebody needs to book, they can go straight to Emma and cut Luda out of it, right? Because Luda's now focused on how to grow the business and not work. She's working on the business, not working in the business, right? And so what we're going to do is let this be more about company issue, and this is going to be more of management issue. And then each of these different ways, you can have your own specialist that dials into that one exact service that they're the expert for that service. They have their own crew, their own van, their own cart, their own cleaning, their own towels. They have everything that they need here, and they're going to get with that person, and that person is just going to inform the team leader, team manager, hey, we got booked for this job. So now they carry that responsibility of that part. All right. We're going to tie all this in together and automate the whole thing. And this is going to save them a tremendous amount of time in the future, and it's going to empower their different employees to start stepping up and walk into the responsibilities so that she can now focus on working on the company, not in the company. So that'll be the team section once we get that fleshed out. And then you always, always, always need an FAQ section on your website, right? The fact that there's not one on here, um, there could have been, there should have been an FAQ section on every website. This is what Google and Reddit and everybody knows, that they can crawl the pages and get answers to the questions that people are asking, right? So what you want to do is imagine what questions would somebody ask if they wanted a standard cleaning, if they wanted a deep clean, if they wanted whatever, right? So you want to anticipate that they all have these questions, and they want to know what's included if they were to hire you today to do that, right? And then what all that we've done was build an FAQ section with like a list of different questions and answers. And if you've never done this, you can obviously go to Google and type it in, and Google will give you a list of questions. Or you can go to Reddit, and Reddit will show you what Google didn't have the answer for, and they had to go to Reddit to get the answer. And we use 10 items on here. There's no rule of thumb. You can do more. I wouldn't do less than five. 10 seems a good number. More than 10, it might be redundant, but 10 good facts should be enough to get them moving in the right direction. And then once again, the call to action, we're going to put the voice number in here so that it calls directly to the voice AI to schedule. Then what we've done differently here, so instead of the page ending like this with just a form where they can submit a message, the thing that we've done is made a summary overview, one last attempt at fixing it. And I don't know why it's 4.9, it's 5.0. Hit save. And then this is going to focus on, you're asking an open-ended question that creates a feedback loop, and it's a question that they don't know the answer to unless they move forward with you. And then the last thing that we've done here is we're going to add a real video, maybe a 2 minute to a 4 minute video from the CEO directly. And then they're going to explain exactly what happens if they were to take action today and book the appointment, right? And in general, the rule of thumb is if somebody's made it to the bottom of the website and they haven't booked, then you got to do an extra to get them across the finish line, right? So give something away of instant value, maybe a coupon, right? A promotional issue, a coupon. You can give them a cleaning guide. You can offer them a subscription discount, something that's bonused for taking action now. Okay. And then the next thing that we wanted to do is actually create a mailing list for her so that anybody that they're not ready to buy today, but they are willing to get on a mailing list, then we're going to create a weekly mailer that's mailing out promos, discounts, coupons, overview of the services that they're provided, and then eventually over time then they'll eventually click on one of those emails and become a user, right? So eventually it'll happen. If she's making videos, like we saw that she made videos already, inside of the email, you can actually put the video link and let people start watching your videos from within the email. And maybe that's another way that they can get in there and move forward. Okay. And then the last thing that we did was create a massive footer section compared to a footer section that's verbatim, everything that's up here, just repeated. What we wanted to do was create a massive footer section so that we can maximize our SEO and rank number one for this client, right? So this about us will go to an about page. Our team will go to a team page. Our location is going to have an overview for Cleveland, Tennessee, but Cleveland has a bunch of rural neighborhoods, and we're actually going to do sub location pages per neighborhood so that we can kind of get a what's called like a geo map location where it's not just helping Cleveland, but it's helping certain areas of Cleveland or surrounding areas of Cleveland on here. We're going to put a partners page because they're talking about using cleaning supplies that have high quality contents, high quality ingredients. So we want to put those high quality ingredients in here. We want to make it where if somebody wants to come work for her, that they have the ability to enroll and get interviewed to come work. We want a full testimonials page where we open up all 169 testimonials. We want a press release because she's being filmed in Channel 3 News. And we want people to realize like this company is so amazing that they're getting picked up in News Channel 3, right? We want them to know that they've got customer care, right? So if there's an issue that they've got a way to submit a ticket to solve an issue. So we're going to create a ticket and we're going to document the tickets that come in and automate this complaint gets triggers this workflow and gets this solution, or this AI bot can see the whole thing and work through it, right? So putting this together is going to save this troubleshooting for them. We're going to exhaust an FAQ section where it's not just the top 10, maybe it's the top 100 FAQs. Now, they're not technically shipping anything, so we'll probably remove this button. Return policy might end up being a guarantee or a refund to some degree. And we're going to put a policy there. Product care. Again, it's probably a lot similar to who we're partnering with, but we can focus on the products that they're using that are like biodegradable, they're eco-friendly, they're good for the environment, things like that. Green New Deal stuff can be right here. And then you guys get the idea. I don't have to exhaust all of it. And then once again, we'll have the social icons down here at the bottom to make it super easy to do the social media. So this is the very big difference that we're going to make with this page. I've got an appointment coming up, so I'm gonna have to end this live stream now and go start this appointment coming up. But I hope you got some value out of this. I hope you got some benefit out of this. If you are struggling figuring out what to do with your website, then we're taking on 200 people to work on their website this year in 2026. We're taking on 200 small business owners, company owners, and we're solving this problem. The last ones that we've worked have got ranked number one. I don't have enough in there to say that everybody can get to number one, but at minimum, we're on the right track to move people in that direction. Maybe get you from page 16 to page one, and then maybe continue plugging away with newsletters, blogs, reviews, everything to get you there. So I think this is a big step forward for this company, for the website. They're going to have a much better landing page. They're going to have a much cleaner services page that deals with the different services that they've got, and then like really, really streamlines exactly how better that one service is. Not an icon, not a logo, but real emotion involved, real problems that they have, real solutions that it offers. And then after that, like clean call to actions. The call to actions have workflows connected and AI bots connected, making it a smart website, a smart AI website, in fact, which is going to give them an enormous amount of time back in their day. And then we wrap all this up by building out a better calendar section, a better form and survey, a better ticket help section. I'm really excited. This is just the first week of it. I'm super excited to see where it goes. And we're looking to help people. So if you're in the Chattanooga, Tennessee area, a small business owner, and you happen to see this video, we can help you live face to face. If you're national, we can help you over Zoom, just like that. So, hope you got something from it. Drop a comment below if this helped you and let us know how it helped. Thanks again.